I knew a girl, but she never told me her body count, but she would have sex a lot. Like maybe in a month, I seen her be with like 20 guys.
20 dudes in the month?
Yeah,
Wait, let's do the math on that. After 4 years, that's 1,000 body count.
Yeah, and she would tell me stories of her meeting up with guys, and she would say that she's a virgin.
Ooh.
That's
Bro, can
gnarly.
you imagine? Like, you think you have a virgin girl, and she's actually like 1,000
What if
dudes.
that
lied
happens
about
to
it?
you one
Yeah,
day?
she told me she would meet up with
Oh,
some
God,
guys and be
the
like, oh
frick.
yeah, I'm a virgin.
Get the rocks.
Yeah.
Abdul? Yeah, get the rocks. Get the rocks.
You know, if a girl with a body count in the hundreds can convince a man that she's a virgin and that they both belong together, then that man needs to learn something in his life. Men are directed, dictated, and naturally bound to obey their own firmware that states a woman with a low or zero body count is a better bet. Society tries to nurture this natural instinct out of men, but we always find ourselves at the same destination with the same conclusions. Men observe and navigate their lives through their own learned experiences. Saying you are a virgin, and if a dude believes it, is sad for the dude. A true virgin will not say she is one, and the only way to know is through her demeanor, conversation, and how she reacts to conversations in regard to the taboo subject of intimacy. And you know what? This is also proof that women understand their entire lives what their actual value to men is. They just spend all that time trying to not face the consequences for cashing that check constantly. We witness what happens to other men who ignore the warning signs and red flags. As problem solvers and logical thinkers, ultimately, the best solution is not to fix a problem if you don't need to. Simply avoid the problem itself. Dealing with emotional damage from another man's saved game is too much effort. A good return on investment is crucial to a man's happiness and ultimately peace. Do not invest in dodgy stocks, and do not follow the sunk cost fallacy. A woman with a high body count brings a lot of baggage into a relationship. All the one-night stands, all the chads she couldn't keep, all the emotional damage she inflicted on herself will be hanging on her like chains. Her past is going to be an invisible monster waiting to raise its ugly head. I find it absolutely disgusting that when these types of cases are brought up as valid reasons why men no longer want to ever be alone with women, they are either completely dismissed, or they are ridiculed and mocked by women as ridiculously rare cases. When these cases are brought up to feminists, many of the feminists are actually happy about it because, in their minds, these innocent men deserve it just for being men. Many feminists have no problem with the fact that it is well known and accepted that at least 10% of men convicted of assault are innocent. Feminists claim that this is a price society must be willing to accept in order to make women safer. They seem quite comfortable sacrificing innocent men in the name of equality. If you do a little homework, you will find that at most colleges and universities, the policy is to immediately expel a male student if an allegation is made against him. Even in cases where the man can literally prove his innocence, the expulsion remains in place. This often leaves a man with an enormous student loan debt and no way to finish his education to secure a degree. All it takes for a female student to ruin a man's reputation and steal his future away from him is to dream up an allegation and submit it formally. Frankly speaking, in cases where it is 100% proven that the woman lied about her allegations against a man, it is incredibly rare that the woman will face any punishment or criminal charges. So, if a woman is angry at a man for any reason, or she just wants to stir up some drama to get people to feel pity for her being attacked, she can level false claims against a man, knowing there will be no repercussions if she is caught lying. And women laugh at men who are fearful of women. For any man interested in a long-term relationship and struggling, do yourself a favor and stop dating. Especially if located in Western society, take a look at your values and look around worldwide. Study different parts of the world, their lives, Middle East, Eastern Europe, and Southeast Asia. There are plenty of places where the likelihood of finding marriage material with similar values shifts drastically if you are serious about starting a family. The second piece of advice, make sure you know a lot about your girl's country and are fine with living there. Higher chance she gets less poisoned by Western society and her values start to wear off. Third, do not keep watching the drama all over YouTube. Put yourself in a decent financial status, make a move, explore places, and see what works best for you. Here's a statistic that practically ends this debate. According to research, after 5 partners, a woman is functionally unfit for marriage if you don't want to end up divorced. So why would a man want to marry a woman with a high body count? And why would he not ask about the body count since it is such an important matter? I hope you get the point I'm trying to make here. A woman has a very low chance of developing a healthy monogamous bond with one man over the course of a lengthy period of time if she has a high notch count, a history of promiscuity in which she slept with many men, and she lost her virginity at an early age. Numerous studies have been done on this. If you compare two ladies, one who started at age 20 and has a notch count of 2, versus one who started at age 16 and has a notch count of 50, the former is by far the wiser option. There will be a lower chance of divorce for you. Your chances of developing a strong relationship with her will be greater. At this point, some claim that men and women are the same. Usually what happens is that people ask why males can be promiscuous without consequence, but women can't. Men and women are complementary to one another's lives, which is where the freak show begins. Today, all the research and data show that women who have a history of promiscuity find it difficult to develop good, long-term monogamous ties with males. If you're a woman watching this, and you're hoping to meet a good guy to have a family with, don't be a garden tool, and don't go tossing it about to every person who shows you some attention. That's simply the reality of the intimate market. You want to maintain your attractiveness, so make sure your notch is something other than what would raise most eyebrows. That is simply the way things are, and you know that no amount of fighting, finger-pointing, or shouting can ever change that. It will always be that way. Since there is a 100% probability that she won't be truthful if you ask her, many males ask how you calculate the count. One of two things will happen if you question a lady about her notch count. Either she will lie, or she will understate it. When women talk about this number, they are picturing anything lasting longer than a few months, such as boyfriends who lasted more than 3 months, anything that qualifies as a one-night stand, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, or that vacation to Europe for the summer that lasted for 2.5 months, friends with benefits, female encounters, and anything else. They avoid recalling those. Therefore, you won't receive a precise figure. Although a number will be given to you, it won't be exact. I mean, if you want to be lazy, just double it by 2 or 3. If you want to establish this with a female who is 31 years old, the best strategy is to just ask her about her 20s and what she did during that period. It's a good indication that the relationship is open, or that she is a keeper, if she claims to have recently broken up with the partner she had been dating since she was 20. She didn't have a greater count. It's a respectable low-notch count. You won't see it very frequently. Instead, you'll likely encounter more counts who say things like they traveled across Europe throughout their 20s, or that they worked at an island festival, or that they were on a cruise ship for 5 years. So, when a woman is secretive about her past, that means she's also keeping her body count private. And if she's keeping her body count private, it means you can multiply whatever BS number she tells you by 5 to get to the actual amount. And guess what? The same woman will show concern about your past, what you did, and how much you earned. The hypocrisy is real with these women. A woman wants you to believe that her past doesn't matter. Meanwhile, she only dates men well off, meaning these men made good decisions in the past. In other words, your past matters to her very much. Meanwhile, she wants you to believe her past doesn't matter. Ironic, isn't it? No woman, to this day, has been able to explain to me why a guy should take her seriously when the 24 guys didn't. Imagine you flipped a coin 200 times, and every time it landed on heads. Would you bet your life savings that the 201st time the same coin will land on tails? Clearly, the coin is biased. Why would a man believe that a woman who has repeated the same behavior many times in the past can or will suddenly stop, let alone stop for him when most women openly refuse to make a sandwich for their husbands? You see, society is just as biased as the coin I just mentioned. And we can see this from the thousands of divorce cases where a man's word is ignored and a woman's allegations are taken on as evidence without any sort of investigation to see if it's true or not. There is absolutely no way that a woman could ever be sent to prison based solely on the verbal claims of a man. However, there are many men serving prison sentences where the only evidence against them the verbal claims of a woman was. In some courtrooms, some men are lucky and are found not guilty based on the lack of evidence. However, in some other courtrooms, other men are found guilty based on the same evidence. That's a reality men have to live with. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. And let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.